A very good morning, dear students, to your civics class. Today we'll be studying chapter 4, Fundamental Rights, part 1. Now, in our constitution, we have the preamble, right, which you have already learned before. In that preamble, you have seen and learnt about sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, isn't it? It gives us certain basic rights to protect us and enables us to live a good life of freedom. Now, what are those rights? Do you know? Let's find out. Child's rights. Do you know you have rights, children? Watch this video and find out. After that, you have to write down the rights you feel which are important to you. Okay?
Every child has a dream to pursue. Give them rights. So let's learn about the fundamental rights of children in India. What are child rights? Child rights go beyond just human rights, which exist to ensure fair and proper treatment of people across the world and promote their well-being. These rights encompass freedom of children and their civil rights, family environment, necessary health care and welfare, education, leisure and cultural activities, and special protection measures. Children, defined as any person under the age of 18, needs more than just human rights due to a set of unique needs stemming from their vulnerabilities. Further, the rights as described in the Convention have been summarized into the following fundamentals with references to various articles. The right to an identity. Children are entitled to a name legally registered with the government and a nationality to belong to a country. Further, they must have the right to an identity in the form of a public record. This ensures national support as well as an access to social services. The right to health. Medical care, nutrition, protection from harmful habits including drugs, and safe working environments are covered under the right to health. And Article 23 and 24 enumerate access to special care and support for children with special needs, as well as quality health care including drinking water, nutrition, and a safe environment, respectively. The right to education. Right to free primary education is critical for helping children develop principal life skills while finding a safe and healthy environment to nurture a child's psychological development. This includes freedom from violence, abuse, or neglect. The right to family life. If not family members, then children have the right to be looked after by caretakers. Children must live with their parents until it is harmful to them. However, family reunification, that is permission for family members living in different countries to travel to renew contract between family members, is critical. Under the word of caretaker or family, they must be provided privacy against attacks on their way of life and personal history. The right to be protected from violence. Protection from violence extends even to family members, and children must not suffer ill treatment or sexual or physical violence. This includes use of violence as a means of discipline. All forms of sexual exploitation and abuse are unacceptable, and this article takes into the view of sale of children, child prostitution, and child pornography. The right to an opinion. All children deserve the right to voice their opinions, free of criticism or contempt, in situations where adults are actively deciding upon choices on behalf of children. The latter are entitled to have their opinions taken into consideration. While children's opinion may not be based on facts, it is nonetheless an important source of insight for parents and should be considered. However, this depends on the child's level of maturity and age. Children have the freedom of expression, as long as they are not harming others with their opinions and knowledge. The right to be protected from armed conflict. Armed conflicts converts innocent children into refugees, prisoners, or participants in armed conflicts. And these all circumstances which contravene with the spirit of war or any armed struggle can severely damage a child's moral as well as perceptions of ethics, and this must be corrected in a nurturing, safe environment. By seeking to rehabilitate children affected by war, the government must also ensure that children are not forced to participate in any armed struggle. The right to be protected from exploitation. As exploitation is usually achieved through violent means, protection from violence is critical for freeing children from exploitation. This extends to abuse, negligence, and violence by parents, even if it is justified as an instrument of achieving discipline at home. Further, children cannot be made to work in difficult or dangerous conditions. Children can only volunteer to work doing safe chores that do not compromise their health or access to education or play. Sexual exploitation, other dimension of exploitation, is also prohibited as an activity that takes advantage of them. Survivors of neglect, abuse, and exploitation must receive special help to enable recovery and reintegration into society. Children also cannot be punished cruelly, even if it's under the ambit of the justice system. Death or life sentences, as well as sentences with other prisoners, are not permitted. Conclusion. All children deserve equality. Despite their difference, they are entitled to all of these rights, no matter what race, color, religion, language, ethnicity, gender, or abilities define them. Thank you. I hope you find the video useful. For more such videos, like, share, and subscribe our channel, What's Up Genius.
So children, you have seen that you have got lots of rights. Which one do you feel are important to you? I want you to write it down. Okay? Then let's go ahead. Now we come to the explanation of the part 1. In this first part, you will learn about the introduction to fundamental rights and right to equality. Okay? Pay attention, children.
Good morning, children. Welcome back. Today we begin with our second term, and we are going to start with civics. Chapter number 4, Fundamental Rights, Part 1. In this chapter, we are going to see that what all rights are owned by a citizen of a country and how you can utilize these rights. What all rights are meant from your childhood till you grow up. So, these all rights we are going to study in this chapter. So, we are going to cover what are rights and which are the 3 types of rights that are mentioned in this chapter. That is right to equality, right to liberty, and right against exploitation. So, let's begin with the explanation. Can you see some pictures in this slide? What these pictures tells us? See, the first one, education is our right. That means it is the right of every child to take at least primary education. The next picture is we must get the assurance of minimum wage. It is our right. That means the one who is employed should get at least minimum wage. That means whatever work he had done or she had done, that much allowance should be given to the employee. We have a right over our forests and its resources. So the people who are living in villages or in tribal areas, they have completely right over their heritage and their habitat. So forest is their habitat and that is their income source, and it is a resource for their livelihood. So that is their right, and we should not destroy it. You might have seen such type of placards in a newspaper or maybe in certain rallies or march where they fight for their rights. Some injustice is taking place, or if they are not been assured for certain things, so such type of rallies assure them and they fight for their rights. Now we get rights at birth. Right from a childhood, when the baby is born, the rights are being assured to all the living world. It is a duty and responsibility of society as well as of government to take efforts, initiatives to ensure that baby gets a proper nourishment and a proper care of health is taken so that the baby grows in a proper manner. That is why governments have implemented vaccination. Few vaccination are free of cost, like polio vaccination, so that the child's health is ensured. Now, when an individual will get protection when there is no injustice, exploitation is not there, any kind of discrimination, deprivation is not there, then only a person can develop himself, as well as when the person will develop, then only society can be in a full flourished manner. The demanding one's rights in a proper atmosphere and getting these rights for ourselves as well as for the society is the duty of every individual. We should understand that what are our rights and how we can preserve them so that whenever we require it, we can fight against injustice. Indian Constitution has guaranteed equal rights to all the citizens of the country, and it is assured that all the rights are being followed in a proper manner. So whatever rights that are mentioned in the Constitution, that are fundamental rights. So as these rights are included in the Constitution, they have a status of law, and it is a duty of everyone to see that no injustice is taking place in the society and everyone is assured by their fundamental rights. Constitution has mentioned our fundamental rights. In all total, there are 6 main rights that are owned by every individual of the country. So, in this chapter, we are going to see first 3 rights. That is, right to equality, right to liberty, and right against exploitation. Beginning with the first one is right to equality. Now, equality word itself tells us that everyone should be treated equally in the society, though it may be belonging to a class, caste, or gender. No discrimination should be there in the society. Everyone should be treated equally. The same law applies to all and it is equal. Many laws gives us protection, and among them one of the example is that we have protection from arrest without warrant. That means if you have done any kind of activity that is unethical and if police comes to arrest you without warrant, you cannot be arrested. So that is one of the provision given by government. Also, the state cannot discriminate while extending such protection. What all other things are included in the right to equality? So a state cannot discriminate any of the citizen on the basis of religion, caste, on the basis of gender, place of birth, residence. So wherever a person is living, one can get all the equal rights that an individual should get, as it is mentioned in the Constitution. So government cannot make any kind of differences on the basis of gender, on the basis of religion. Even employment opportunities are equal for all. Untouchability that was prevalent in the past is now being abolished and completely banned by the government to bring equal status in the society as well as in the country. Practice of untouchability is being completely banned by the government, but still if it is prevalent in any part of the country, then it is an offense and you are going to be penalized for that offense. So it is completely banned by the government, so that India should get a equal status and each and every part of the country should be provided equality. That is why it was banned by the government as per the Indian constitution. The constitution has also abolished titles that create an artificial hierarchy among people. That means just a kind of show off to add certain names and show their status. So this completely things have been banned by the government. Just take an example by putting Raja, Maharaja, Rai Bahadur. These all things have been abolished in our Indian constitution and is being banned and not being followed. So my dear children, in this part of video we have seen the first fundamental right, that is right to equality. Even we have studied that what is right and how it is mentioned in the Indian constitution that need to be followed by every citizen of the country. The next two rights we are going to see in the next part of the video. Thank you children for watching the video. Take care. Bye bye.
Now that you have already learnt about equality, children, let us do an activity on gender equality. I want you to listen and observe the children in this video. Now in this video, there are some children, boys and girls, who have been given one activity to be done. Some work has been given to them. After they do the work, they get a reward. You will see what is the reward and how much reward each one gets. Where girls get some reward and the boys get some reward. And you have to keep in mind this question: when should the girls be treated and given the same reward like the boys, and why? See the video first, children.
Jeg heter Selma. Og jeg heter Martin. Jeg heter Ask. Jeg heter Victoria. Jeg heter Lars. Og jeg heter Felicia.
Nå har jeg en liten jobb til dere. Jeg tenkte dere skulle putte de blå ballene i den ene vasen og de rosa i den andre.
Okay. Skal vi ta rosa i den og blå i den da? Nei. Annet. Blå i denne.
Men nå skal dere få belønningen deres.
Hva er dette for noe? Hva er dette for noe?
Ok, og nå kan dere åpne øynene.
Hva?
Jeg fikk. Nå er det grunn til at du har fått mindre enn Thomas. Det er faktisk fordi du er jente.
Det er kjemperart. Det er skikkelig urettferdig.
Hva tenker du, Lise?
Vi har jobbet helt litt, og så får vi til det samme. Vi var like flinke, og vi burde få like mye.
Hvorfor det?
Fordi ellers så blir det urettferdig. Det er liksom ikke forskjell på jente og gutt, da. Jeg tenker at det er feil.
Hvorfor er det feil?
Jenter er ikke mindre verdt enn gutter. Det har ikke noe å si hvis man er gutt eller jente. Sånn, ja. Det er like mye, da. Nei. Nå har vi like mye. Nå har vi like mye.
So children, you have seen this video of girls and boys, how they are treated. Girls are treated differently from boys. So should the girls be treated and given the same reward, same like the boys, and why? This is happening even in the work environment. So you have to answer me this. Okay children. Now let's go to the next. We come to the explanation of part 2. You have already understood part 1 explanation, right? In which we learned about equality. Now in part 2 of the chapter we will learn about right to liberty and right against exploitation. Okay? Watch closely, listen carefully.
A very warm morning to my dear children. Welcome back. In the first part of the video, we have seen that what are rights, and we have started with the first fundamental right, that is right to equality. Further, we are going to see 2 more rights in this chapter. So let's begin with the explanation and let's see which are the 2 rights. Already we have seen what is right to equality, that means equal status in the society for each and every individual. Moving on with the next right is right to liberty and right against exploitation. Do you know Indian Constitution has abolished all the titles that can create an artificial hierarchy among people, and this could affect the peace of the society. It could create inequality in the society. To maintain equal rights in the society and social unity should be maintained in the society, these all titles have been banned by the government. But the state does confer awards like Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Bharat Ratna, Ashoka Chakra, Paramvir Chakra, Shaurya Chakra, and many more medals and awards to the person who had given his contribution or her contribution in different fields, such as Bharat Ratna is the greatest civilian honor or award of a country. The ones who have shown their great performance in different fields have been awarded. It is a remarkable service in the armed forces, and they are being honored by medals such as Paramvir Chakra, Ashok Chakra, and so on. Such awards don't bestow any special rights or privileges upon those who receive them. That is, the one who is capable and the one who is courageous to show the bravery in different fields are being awarded for their great contribution. A very important right guaranteed by Indian Constitution is right to liberty. Here, an individual is free to express ideas, views, and point of view as per the consideration. So, as Indian citizens, we have the right to. We are free to speak and to express our opinions. We are free to assemble peacefully. We are free to form associations or unions as per the requirement. Freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. We need not require any valid document. If we are having a ticket, we can travel to any part of India or we can migrate to any part of the state as per the requirement. There is no restriction or any kind of ban that we cannot travel to any part of India or any part of the country. Freedom to practice any lawful profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business of one's own choice. Means our constitution has guaranteed that we are free to follow or we are free to choose any of the professions as per our like. We are free to select any of the business that are coming under the conditions of Indian Constitution. Means we should not involve ourselves in any of the unethical activities that can lead to us in a trouble. So we are free to follow any of the professions as per our choice. There are no restrictions that this particular religion can follow this profession only. So these all are the freedoms of liberty that is provided to us by the government. There is an activity in your textbook on page number 78. Do this. following the actions of A, B, and C. The kind of freedom they connect with. Now, this activity you need to read and do it by yourself in your notebook, or you can complete in the textbook itself also. A established Adivasi Cooperation Forum to solve the problem of the tribal people. So, which kind of freedom it emphasizes? We decided to move his father's bakery production from Goa to Maharashtra. Again, which type of freedom it is? To reside and settle and to practice any lawful profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business of one's choice. C found some lacuna in the new tax policy of the government. He wrote an article about it and sent it to a newspaper for publication. Again, which type of freedom it emphasizes? So, you need to complete this activity by yourself. Do you know our constitution has given us many rights, but it is our responsibility that we should utilize them in a proper way. We should take care that these rights, when we are using it, we should not harm the peace and security of the society. By our behavior, it should not hurt anyone. We have the freedom of expression, but we cannot speak or write anything that might incite anybody to violence. That means we should know our limitations while writing as well as while speaking, so that it should not affect the society and the peace of the country. Or in return, it should give any kind of violence or rumors that can affect the peace of society. The right to liberty mentioned in the Indian Constitution has guaranteed each and every individual with freedom of speech, expression, association to be formed, to reside in any part of the state, to move in any part of the state, as well as to select any of the profession or business as per your choice. It is also provided with security and safety to ourselves as well as to the nation. This legal protection is being given to everyone and it is in a equal manner. It cannot be denied to anybody. For example, we all have equal right to life and it appears to be simple, but it has a deep significance. It implies getting a guarantee to live, availability of a conducive environment for living. It means that everybody is having a right to life. Everybody can live as per their choice. No one is having a right to harm anybody. We are having full right to live. Nobody can harm us. Nobody can destroy our life. And no person can be arrested or detained without any reason. The individual who are living in the society are having full right to take education as per their choice. So that is the compulsion provided by government mentioned in the constitution, article number 14, that each and every child between the age of 6 and 14 years should be getting primary education, and it is a compulsion. No child should be involved in any kind of activities like employing or working in any of the factories to make crackers or anything. If they are being found so, then there is a punishment. This ensures that this article of 14 ensures that every child should get education and no child should be deprived of education. When we speak about right to life, it means that some rights are supplementary to the right of life. For example, nobody can be punished twice for the same offense that a person has committed. Person get once only a punishment. But when the punishment is liable, when the allegation against a person are proved, the court has to perform this task. The police collect the evidence for the person and the accused had to be proved in the case that he had committed a crime. Just take an example. If a person accepts whatever crime he had committed, but still he is not going to get punished immediately until or unless all the allegations against him are proved. This judicial process takes time so that unnecessarily innocent person should not get punishment and the person's life should not get spoiled. Yet they are given chance to improve themselves and When they are in the judicial custody, they get a chance to work as well as to improve so that when they come out, they can be a good human being for the society. Moving on with the next right is right against exploitation. The word exploitation itself tells us that a person is being harassed in the society or is not getting an equal status as compared to the other ones. So, the right that is mentioned in the constitution implies the right to prevent against exploitation, getting exploited. While the constitution has banned all types of oppression through the right against exploitation, it had made a special provision to protect children from getting exploited. That means a child who is being asked to work is a wrong. It is an illegal activity, and a person who is forcing a child to do the work is legally committing a crime. Accordingly, it is prohibited to employ children under 14 years of age. Why? Because that is the age for taking primary education. That article has been already implemented by the government. Children cannot be employed or made to work in factories and mines. We have seen on television that how children are being employed to do work in the factories, preparing crackers, and in mines also, where their life is completely in danger. Involving children in such kind of activity is an offensive crime because a child may not be capable to take the decision what is right or what is wrong for him. Exploitation includes bonded labor. That means their work is fixed and they cannot change their work because already they have asked for money sometimes, or they are involved in the work that is against their will, or somebody is forcing them to do the work against his or her wish. Treating somebody like slave. Any work is not a big one or small one. All the work should be treated equally and a person should not be ill-treated. Denying them legitimate compensation. A person is working but is not being paid as per the work the person has done. Making them to do excessive work that has not been required. Sometimes a person is forced to do extra work, but the wages are not given as per the extra work that a person has done. Starving them or ill treating them, especially women, children, the weaker section of society, and powerless people are being exploited. We are hearing so many cases are being there on news channels that how women are being exploited, children are being forced to do the work, and even weaker section. And when the justice asks for them, it is not being provided, or sometimes it is too late to get the justice. So, this right enables us to stand up against any kind of exploitation that a person is facing. We are having a complete right to fight against any kind of exploitation or harassment that has been done by a person. Let's discuss. Children are not employed here. Workers are paid daily here. You see such boards in shops and hotels. In what way are they related to the above rights in the Constitution? Yes, they are related. That means a child is not forced to do the work, and workers are given their daily allowances, or workers are paid their salaries on a proper amount, whatever the work they had done. So, they are provided equal justice in the society. Equality is maintained. Now, this is an activity given in your textbook on page number 79. Let's discuss. The government has made many laws in order to prevent against exploitation, and it had enabled every individual to get equal status in the society and as well as freedom. Now, some laws have been already mentioned here. That is, they are given here below. You need to find out some more and discuss. Now, rather than discussing, you can write in your notebook and keep. You can select any of the two laws that are mentioned in the favor of people. Now, here it is given Minimum Wages Act. Provision relating to working hours, rest hours, etc. in factories. That means workers are given proper wages as well as rest period is given in the workplace. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. That is any kind of harassment to the woman. Against it also one of the act is been mentioned. Now in such way you need to find two more acts that are in favor of people mentioned by the Constitution or government and complete it in your notebook. In this part of the video, we have seen two more rights, that is right to liberty and right against exploitation. how government has mentioned in the Indian Constitution to fight against any kind of injustice that is happening in the society, and we are having full right to fight against it and get justice for that. So here we end up with our chapter. Thank you for watching the video, my dear children. Take care. Bye bye.